Today I'm going to be explaining how to create and edit in Google Docs. This video is geared toward people who may not have used Google Docs before. Google Docs is similar to Microsoft Word, but it's free with your Google account, and the Google Docs are saved in your Google Drive online. I'm going to be talking about three main things. First, how to create a Google Doc, and then we'll look at how to find that saved document stored in your Google Drive. Then how to edit text in Google Docs, and I'll be going over all of the toolbar buttons, including how to change font size, alignment, and line spacing. And then we'll look at how to use the tab key to indent paragraphs. And last, I'll go over some common keyboard shortcuts. First, you want to go to your Google Drive, where Google Docs are stored. You can do this from your AU Direct portal. Once you're in Google Drive, you want to click New to create a new document, and then choose Google Docs. Here's where it shows your document's title, and you can see that right now it's an untitled document, so I'm going to rename it. I clicked Enter to exit that box, or to exit that box you can just click here or here, just click out of the box. And you'll see if you make any changes, like give it a different title, then right here it says all changes saved in Drive. Or before that it actually said the word saving right here. That's because this is saved all online in your Google account, so you can find it in your Google Drive. And I'll show you that. If we go back and open your Google Drive again from AU Direct, right there is the document that we just created. So we can just click on that to open it up again. Or if it's not something you've worked on recently, then it would appear below that. You might just have to scroll down to see your other documents in your Google Drive. Now let's open a document that has some text in it so I can show you some different ways to edit the text. First, I'm going to talk about all of these buttons in the toolbar across the top. So these buttons are undo and redo. So if you make a mistake and do something like accidentally delete some of your writing, then you can go up here and hit undo, and it will just undo the last thing that you did. This zoom function is useful, especially if you're looking at it on a tiny screen or it's straining your eyes. You could make everything more zoomed in for a bigger view of the text. Here is where it shows the style of font. Right now it's all in Georgia. We could change it to Times New Roman if we want. First we would need to select all, edit, select all, and then you can change the font here. Or in this case, I'm going to undo that. You can also change the font size here. Then these buttons change the selected text to bold or italics or underline. Or you can change the color of the text. You can also change the background highlight behind the text. Next, there are buttons to show the alignment of the text. So first, this heading is centered, which you can see here, but I could make it left aligned or right aligned. I'll just center it again. And then this text is right now justified, meaning it's stretched all the way to both edges of the page, or I could make it left aligned or right aligned or centered. I'll make it left aligned. And this button helps you adjust your line spacing. So you have to select the text first, but then you can make it single spaced or double spaced. Or what I recommend is to look at custom spacing. And here, especially if you paste something in from another document, you might notice some strange numbers here. Really, I think you want these to usually be zero spaces before and after paragraphs. Okay, that didn't make much of a difference here, but now it's if you use single or double spacing. Single spacing, there's really no space between the lines, or your papers might usually need to be double spaced. These three dots expand the menu and show any other buttons that may be missing. And the number of buttons that you can see on the toolbar will depend on the size of your browser window overall. So if you were working with your browser kind of scrunched up in a narrower window, then when you click on these three dots, you'll see many more of the toolbar buttons available here. Or you can make your window much wider, and then more of the buttons will appear on the toolbar itself, so there's fewer on there. For papers, you'll usually need to indent the first line of each paragraph. So for that, I would just click at the beginning of the line and hit the tab button, and that will automatically indent half an inch, but you can double check too and see that it's half an inch. So I'm just hitting the tab button on the keyboard. The next thing I'm going to talk about is keyboard shortcuts. And here are some of the most common keyboard shortcuts that might be useful for you when you're working in Google Docs. So the first one that I think is really useful is select all. And you'll notice that these are different on a PC and on a Mac. So the letters are the same, but the button that you press in combination with them is different. On a PC, you hold down the control button while you're pressing one of these other letters, and on a Mac, you hold down the command button while you're pressing one of these other letters. So first, let's try select all, where you hold down control or command, and that selects everything. So that way you could change the font to one font style or one font size all at once. After you change your font, you want to be careful that you don't still have everything selected for the next thing that you want to do. So to unselect all, just click anywhere. Just click to make sure that things are not selected again. For these other ones, cut and copy, it depends on what you have selected specifically. So let's try just cutting just one sentence or copying just one sentence. First, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to come and paste it up here. So I'm going to copy it with the controller command C and then paste it with controller command plus V. Or I can, let me undo, and I'll do the same thing. I can cut it with controller command X and then paste it with the V. So if you cut it, it just deletes it and then you can paste it somewhere else. Or if you copy it, it will stay put, but then you can also paste it again as a copy somewhere else. And the last one that I want to talk about is undo, Command Z, which is the same as the undo button up here. So if you accidentally type something or delete something, then you can just hit Control or Command Z and it will undo your last action. So those are the basics that I think are most useful to know in Google Drive. And again, you can find your document by going from AU Direct Portal to your Google Drive. And then you can see your document